Truworths, South Africa's biggest listed clothing retailer, reported an 8% rise in full-year profit and warned of increasing bad debts, though, and slowing consumer spending in the year ahead. On the line now is Chief Executive Michael Mark. Good evening to you, Michael. One always thinks of Truworths as one of those blue-chip retailers that has delivered good returns for investors, and I suppose, of course, you would say good value for customers over a long period of time. This is when good companies really have to show how good they are, isn't it? Because the consumer's under pressure.
Exactly. That's the exact right way to say it. We are faced with challenging times again. It's not the first time. It happens regularly, as you well know. And this is the time we have to know what we're doing, and we have to return to basics and make sure we're satisfying the customer. And the fact that the customer's got difficulties means we have to take into account.
Headline earnings up 8.4% there to 570 cents. 12% though up if you took out the extra week. So a like-on-like number would be 12%. You must be pleased with that. A lot of the other retailers, they've been pleased to be steady with inflation.
Yeah, 12% we were pleased about. The 12% is because last year had a 53rd week. This year only has 52 weeks. So we're losing the week, and we therefore have the negative comparison. But 12% like was very good. However, if you look at the components of our results in two halves, July to December of 2012 and January to June 2013, you'll see that the second half, this last half, was much more difficult than the first half.
What are you expecting now? Because all the retailers are saying the consumer's under stress, warning about battening down. Grant Patterson from Massmart on a bit earlier, saying that they're actually not going to look for too much growth in South Africa, rather perhaps take a bit more risk than before outside South Africa. But you have to find that growth. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, no, we South African, we've got 40 stores outside South Africa, so we also are expanding elsewhere. But I mean, it's only 3% of our sales, so 95% and more of our sales are in South Africa. As you say, we've got to grow in South Africa, and what we're going to do is to do what we've always done, which is in times like these, we're going to take into account the fact that the consumer is under pressure, so we have to adapt our merchandise mix accordingly. We have to get even more exciting, make sure our fashion's even better, the quality even better, differentiate ourselves from our competitors, and we've got to do whatever we've always done, but much better, because the customer makes choices even more so than in the past.
What about the credit situation and the bad debts? You've got obviously alarm bell positions where certain things happen and then you act. What are the kind of measures that you've got for that, and where are you sitting in terms of previous bad times, previous low cycles in terms of bad debts?
Yeah, you know, what we've got is incredibly sophisticated internal computer systems, together with a relationship with credit bureaus who themselves are very sophisticated. And just as an example, just from the perspective of the technology we apply, our acceptance rate of new accounts has declined from 38%, meaning 62% were rejected last year, to this current year we've just been through with 69, almost 70% of people were rejected. Only 31% were given new credit. That's one example. There are many others. I mean, allocating credit to existing customers, increasing their credit limits. We perhaps are tougher than we would have been in the past. And the credit scorecards we use take into account the risk of the customer, because the scorecards interact with the bureaus, and therefore they understand that the customers are more risky at the moment.
Yeah. Michael, just to finish talking about shareholder value, of course, you've had a long-standing share buyback campaign since 2002 worth 2.4 billion rand. Does that continue? How much value has been added, in other words, to existing shares by the buyback program?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, we've bought back 2.4 billion. I think the average purchase price of share buybacks is somewhere around 25 or 30 odd rand. I'm not sure exactly what the number is. Our current share price is around 80. So there's been a massive benefit to shareholders by our buyback program. And we bought back about 600 million rand worth of shares in the last year.